The forces that are shaping the world around us are huge and shaping the world in dramatic ways. We're going through a brief video series here that I've called The Tides of Change. 5 disruptive forces shaping our world. And we've looked already at technology, institutional change and demographics. Our last 2 forces, the E and the S, are these. The E is for the environment and ethics, really. It's more than just climate change and a few Greenpeace activists with pictures of drowning polar bears here. This has got to do not just with sustainability and green issues, but with the whole ethical consideration around how we do business, where we do business, who we do business with. Now, no matter what business you are in, I am sure that you know ethical considerations are becoming more and more important. Sure, as we sit here today, they're not the most important. Very few of you are in industries where people are choosing the most ethical person to do business with yet. But you know, and I know, that come 3 years' time, come 2020, this is going to become more and more important. As all of the people in your industry offer the same products and the same services at about the same price to the same customers through the same channels, what is the differentiation? And increasingly, environmental and ethical considerations, especially as you are facing ethical consumers. The younger your customers, the more likely they are to make ethical decisions about what they do. Well, this is becoming more and more important. So I'm not going to say too much about this, not because it's unimportant or because I don't have a lot to say. There's a lot we could talk about, but because I think we all know instinctively that this is the right way forward. And companies need to do a lot more about the environmental space. Those companies that do will get a head start. Just 2 things, though, for you to think about, because we're trying to talk here about disruptive forces. 2 predictions. I'll leave you to think about them on your own. The first prediction, I'm absolutely convinced that by 2025, China will be the greenest nation in the world. Not the cleanest. They've got a long time to fix up 45 years of industrial waste and mess that they've created. But I think in attitude, in policy, and in public, in what the government does, they will have established themselves as the leaders in the environmental space. If you're not convinced, speak to someone that you know who works in the environmental space. Ask them what they think of China. You might be surprised. The second thing to push your thinking around the environmental space is this issue of shale gas. Now, there's a much better word that we use, which is a lot easier: fracking. Our ability to get into the shale rock of our Earth's crust and extract gas that we weren't able to extract even just 3 years ago. Of course, there are environmental concerns. Of course, the green activists need to be listened to. There's huge danger in this, and we mustn't mess up the Earth's water supply, and we mustn't mess up the environment further. But we will be able to change the face of this earth. We'll be able to change the geopolitical structures of this earth if we can extract this gas cheaply and make it available around the world. So have a look at shale gas if you haven't seen it before. These are going to change the environmental space that we work in. What does this mean for you? Well, maybe China, maybe shale gas has got no interest in your industry. But what ethical considerations are of interest to your customers, to your clients, to your staff, to you? How are you contributing to an ethical future, to an environmental sustainable future? You need an answer to that question. Your staff and customers will demand it. So that's the 4th of our 5 disruptive forces. Come back once more for the final video when we look at the S, the social values, and then we'll wrap this up.